Rolls Royce that they had.
Right.
$6,200 a month were the car payments that he was supposed to make. They apparently haven't made them in 2 years. They want, I mean, it's just so bad. I mean, I get what you're saying. I
They
feel
may
like
not even be able to afford that.
I don't even know if they know how to start. Like, I mean, what could he do? Like, they haven't, okay, they've had that like salt bikini line or whatever. I mean, but they haven't worked in a long time. Now, do you find this interesting about Kroy and Kim? I haven't seen a lot of people, aside from Sheree, who was on Watch What Happens, and she says Kim is not doing well emotionally, like she's a mess. But isn't it interesting, like Tracy, the old cook, and Sweetie, the old assistant, they really haven't rolled on them. Like, they haven't said much. Why do you think that is? Like, maybe they're really great people.
I don't know. I don't know. And by the way, I do think Brielle, I mean, she's young and hot. I think she actually makes money on Instagram. Guess what? Brielle, girl, you're going to have to open your house. You lived in the mansion for free all those years. Now it's time for you to take in your mother, okay? And your sisters and your brothers, and you're all going to sleep there together. I mean, listen, I mean, I don't, I sit up here and I this in Hamptons and look, I would be fine if I lost everything. I would be fine. You pull yourself up and you figure it out. I don't believe in I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in like this gross, I mean, what Bentley? Why are you driving a fucking Bentley if you cannot afford it? Why? Drive a Mazda, drive a Toyota, drive a whatever. Well, what else is there to drive? I don't know.
I mean, Brielle is going to have to work it, honey. She is going to have to really, really work it.
Drive a fucking Subaru. Are Subarus still around in the world?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, well, there you go, guys. Okay,
the
well, there you go.
Subaru Sen.
Okay.
You know what? I really hated a Subaru. And my husband wanted like something, it was between that and a Kia, but we went during the pandemic and they were like charging 10,000 over MSRP for a Kia. My husband was like, fuck that. I was like, absolutely. We're not paying for a Kia. I don't think so. But they were like, have you ever tried a Subaru? They're like amazing vehicles and they'll last like 200,000 miles. I was like, okay. We bought one. I'm actually a fan of the Subaru. I mean, now I want something more luxury. Like, you live in California, you need something like a little bit more luxurious. But I don't have a problem with the Subaru. I like it. And you know what? The payments are very affordable. So there you go. They could join us in the Subaru. Brielle is going to need to really reassess the business. Really reassess. I
mean, I don't know.
I'm going through her Instagram. I don't see a ton of paid endorsements, but she might not disclose them all.
Am I being too hard? No, I don't think I am. This is how I feel about these things.
Well, look, it does, like, look, you've been around finance. I mean, this doesn't sneak up on you. This isn't like, oh my God, we're $6 million in debt. I mean, these guys have been spending like this for years and years and years. I guess I'm just like a little surprised Kroy's attorneys come out and been like, Kroy never lived like this. I mean, it didn't seem like Kroy did live like that before meeting Kim, but I guess, a partner can do that to you. Maybe he was, he was in love. Maybe he thought, Kim, the businesses would pick up.
By the way, I am so sorry because, like, if anyone is watching this on YouTube and you see me looking down, I'm not ignoring Sarah. I just have a question. This is a real question.
Ask away.
When you graduate high school, you have to be like 18, right? To graduate high school?
No, you can graduate early. Some people graduate early.
Okay, and then I better just
like 16, 17. I mean, yeah, you can do things, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep my comment to myself then if we're not sure if a high school graduate is 18 because I don't want to get in trouble with the law. But it's right. Sarah's like, if you're thinking, but Camille Grammer's son just graduated.
Yes,
graduated high school. So I'm lost in these pictures for a minute, and I am going to keep my comments to myself because I don't want to go to jail. But This is clearly Camille's son. He looks more like Camille than Kelsey. I really am lost in these pictures, guys. So everyone
Did
go to Miss.
Kelsey show up, do we think,
I
to
do
the
not see pictures here of Mr. Kelsey Grammer.
well, I mean, would Camille really post him? I don't know.
Probably not because she fucking hates him. Let's see, Kelsey Grammer. I don't know why is he even on Instagram. This must be him. 35.5. Is this the real Kelsey Grammer? I don't know. I don't know, guys. But Camille's son and Kelsey's son graduated, and no comments from me. I'm a free man. I'm a free woman. I'm not going to jail. Go look at the pictures, everyone. He's moving on to college. So good for Miss Donatachi. We're going to see her back on Beverly Hills next season. You know what we're also going to see? We got pictures surfacing of that girls' trip, that RHONY legacy shit.
Oh, yes. What do you think, by the way?
I mean, listen, I've had her on the show before. I like Kristen Tateman a lot, but she just looks at every picture just like out of place. Like, not even like, just, I don't, not, and I'm not, it's not even a negative, just like, she's in over her head. She's in the big leagues. What am I doing here? Look, as someone didn't even see the article and they asked me on what is it on YouTube how much these girls get paid, and I said, look, I mean, before I even saw that, I said they get paid like anywhere from like 150 to 250, and the person was like, what, for like 10 days? I'm like, yeah, that's the salary. That's
amazing, and that's
this
what
is how
they're making. That's a lot.
And this is how you get like a Carolyn Manzo who really doesn't want anything to do with the franchise, who then says yes. Same thing with Kristen is really moved on with her life. I mean, I saw her out here in the Hamptons last summer at La Bibliothèque in SAG. She's, she lives in LA. I thought it was funny that Brandy Glanville said, girl, my advice is, I mean, she did it in a public forum too, but she's like, if anything happens, don't go to HR. Cause basically it's like, so that's because, they really are good friends. I mean, I don't necessarily see how, but they really are good friends in real life. I don't know. So 250. So, I mean, who says no to that? Sonia, this is the best thing that's happened to you in years. I mean, Sonia also got paid for the crappy lake. Sonya's going to be okay for a minute. This is good. She's got some income.
This is really good.
She's got some income here. So look, it's good for Ben Simone, could also be a redemption season. I mean, again, I had Kelly on my podcast. Didn't seem like it did redeem her. Lots of the comments were not so in favor of Miss Ben Simone. I loved having her on. She was in that Soho loft with that iconic horse in the background. Everyone go and listen to that episode. But I don't know. I mean, I think people are more interested for RHONY Girls Trip than RHONY Reboot. I don't know who's so excited for this reboot of RHONY. Look, I think
I've had a couple people message me and say yes, and they feel like we should be more on board. Again,
okay.
It's like, a handful of people, but I've heard more people say they're curious about it than not. I mean, I'm curious. Like I said,
I'm
curious about it. A lot of people, and I can't remember. Somebody messaged me and said they did a deep dive and this cast is super interesting and we should give it a great shot.
I saw that. I got the same thing. Listen, I'm not a negative person, believe it or not. Like nothing would make me